Доброго времени суток, друзья, dWayfer на связи. Продолжим прохождение модификации Rigmor of Cyrodiil Reboot к игре The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. В прошлый раз мы остановились на победе над Morag-Сетиус и Мологом Балом, после чего вернулись в лагерь Квинта и нашли здесь лорда-канцлера Блэквилла. Что ж, посмотрим, что он хочет нам сказать. Всем приятного просмотра. И что тогда, Блэквилл? Что если все пойдет по плану?
I will then be in a position to deal with the Leowins. Rigmor retains Bruma, and you, Dragonborn, will become the new Count of Leowin. You have my word.
Но Ригмор будет в опасности, я не могу этого допустить.
Only after the wedding, not before. You will be there with her to protect and serve her.
Есть еще один путь.
How so?
Мы победим Леовина в битве и всех, кто встанет на нашем пути.
It would be a roll of the dice, and the odds are stacked against you.
Вы встанете на пути богов? Пророчество?
As you know, my loyalty is to the seat of the Empire, and I will defend it at all costs. And whatever the outcome, take my chances. To inherit it, you must be willing to cleave your way to the throne in blood.
Stop it. Both of you. I do desire peace over this. No, Dragonborn, I never asked for any of this. I've never had a life. If I could stop it, this madness, I would. Screw the gods and screw the prophecy.
И что? Мы свяжемся с вами по этому вопросу.
Of course. I want the Leowins out of the picture for good. Cepheus, for all his failings, isn't a bad emperor. He has brought stability to the Empire and prosperity. All the other nobles will fall into line once he's gone. The Emperor's future secure. I like that girl, Dragonborn. She is the Countess of Bruma by royal decree, by Titus Mede II himself. I give you my word, no harm shall befall her, and she can at least hope to live a normal life again. No more fighting. She won't even have to marry that scoundrel. Of that you can be sure. Send a messenger, and I know we'll have a deal. Ride into the valley, and you'll force my hand against you.
А что если мы выберем битву и победим Блэквилл? Что тогда?
Then Rigmor will become Empress.
Разве у нее есть выбор?
No, it has to be her. She is a true pretender by dynastic blood. The nobles would demand it.
Вы узнаете о нашем решении достаточно скоро.
Then I bid you farewell.
И тебе. Хорошего пути.
What did he say, Guardian General? Does he want us to surrender?
Жди меня внутри, Квинт. Мне нужно поговорить с Ригмор. Потом мы сможем обсудить варианты.
Of course.
А ты чего такой радостный?
Cum calcameus, Sethri.
Ригмор, ты никогда не должна показывать чувства врагу.
Sorry to disappoint.
Ты не можешь разочаровать меня. Пора бы уже это знать.
What now? This has just got a lot more messy and confusing. I wish he hadn't come. It was far simpler to go kill everyone and be done with it.
Покончим Покончить с чем? Ты станешь императрицей?
Yeah, right.
Видишь? Потом Блэквилл предложил тебе выход. Чему быть, того не миновать.
Oh, Dragonborn. But isn't it already written?
Ничто не предопределено. Тебе не нужно делать ничего, чего ты не хочешь.
Do you trust him?
Да, у него есть на то причины, он желает... Он совершенно точно желает этого.
What about Bobby? I don't know if I can ever look at him again.
Тебе не придется... Все, что тебе нужно, это согласиться на брак.
I don't know. We've come this far, haven't we? You decide. Whatever you think is best.
Давай обсудим это с остальными.
You go. I'll go along with whatever you decide.
Rigmor, это касается тебя, а не меня.
Please, I'm so tired. I just don't care anymore. Dragonborn, please.
Ладно, ты отдыхай, а я скоро дам тебе знать.
Thank you. Dragonborn, wait.
Что еще?
What I said, the way you looked at her. Did you sleep with her?
Rigmor, конечно, нет.
I wouldn't have blamed you if you did. She was beautiful.
Она была демоном, убийцей детей и получила то, что заслужила.
But
Я люблю тебя и никогда бы тебя не предал.
okay, I won't mention it again. Come get me when you're ready.
Is Rigmor okay?
Да, она в порядке. Но ситуация изменилась.
What did Blackwell have to say?
Он хочет прекратить войну, но предлагает брак Rigmor с Робером де Медалиусом.
I fear we have already gone too far. It could never work. Unless Blackwell is prepared to compromise. What else did he say?
Чейденхолл присоединился к Леовину. Возможно, Корал тоже. Это все меняет.
Our flank would be completely exposed if Coral sailed forth from the castle.
If Blackwell has come to offer a way out, it's only because he fears for the Emperor, whether we win or lose. Coral's been offered a deal, right, by Leowin.
Да, Сетри. Леовин предложит Чейденхоллу и Коралу разделить Брому, как они посчитают нужным.
And in return they offer him their loyalty, should he usurp the Imperial throne.
Он не думает, что они знают о задуманном Леовином цареубийстве, но да, это так.
What if she takes him up on the deal? I take it she's not too enthusiastic about it.
Simple. She agrees to marry Leowin's son, so the Count doesn't have to deliver on his part of the bargain. Giving Coral and Shadenhall Bruma would strengthen them. They would effectively control everything north, weakening his power considerably. Rigmor marrying into the Leowins gives him the edge, divides the would-be alliance of the two counts, and, when the time is right, Leowin usurps the imperial crown.
No wonder Blackwell is eager for a settlement. But how does he intend to deal with Leowin's ascendants?
Блэквилл убьет их обоих перед свадьбой. А пока свадьба не назначена, Rigmor в безопасности.
This changes things, as we can no longer march down the Gold Road to engage Leowin's army with our backs exposed to a possible attack from Coral. I fear, either way, we have been compromised. I don't think we have much choice. Did he give away where Leowin is now?
Они с Чейденхоллом загнали Ингола обратно в замок, он снова в осаде. Осталось не так много времени.
Siege? But what about Robert?
doesn't give a shit about Robert, who has now become expendable.
May I interject?
Please do, Count Cameus.
I have been given leave to assist any way I can. The endorsement of the Elder Council in exile permits my forces to be available even in Cyrodiil. If it is as you say, and Bruma is in a critical situation, then I propose splitting our forces. They don't know how many we are. Quintus and I could take the main force to Skingrad. Once there, hold talks with the Count. See if he is willing to join us. Whether he does or not, we park our army on Coral's doorstep. And wait.
Yes. Once Leowyn hears of it, he will have to move his forces to meet us, or block us from descending on the citadel. If I were him, I would make encampment on the Red Ring Road, protecting the bridge into the Imperial City.
Exactly. He would leave behind a force big enough to make sure Bruma does not sally forth. I would assume Shadenhall's forces mostly. I am sure there's no love lost between them and the new Imperial army. This is where you come in, Guardian. Take Rigmor and the rest of the army on a forced march to Bruma. Break the siege and relieve the garrison. If Cassius and his marines join you, more the merrier. Make your way down the Silver Road and join us on Leowyn's right flank.
Это может сработать, но разделить армию так себе идея.
The prophecy must be fulfilled.
Нам надо держаться вместе.
You know as well as I this is the only way. Not only for the future of Tamriel, no. All of Nirn. But also for Rigmor. When the child is born, we don't want any debris on the doorstep, as well as the flotsam that's going to be washed up on the shore.
I have an idea, if you'll let me. March the army to Corral and take Fort Ash and wait. This should bring Leowyn off the mountain, as Cameus suggests. And if all goes according to plan, we'll give you the edge and needed protection should both Corral and Leowyn attack simultaneously if all goes south. I'll go to Bruma and inform Ingol of the situation. Once Leowyn moves, Ingol sallies forth. With his men, the garrison and the guild, Shadenhall doesn't stand a chance. We'll leave a skeleton crew of pick fighters and make our way to Fort Empire on Leowyn's flank.
That could work. A lightning strike on Fort Ash. I'll send a courier to make sure Coral knows what's best for him.
We'll need to stop him from crossing the bridge, you know, into the citadel.
Countess Rigmor.
He'll occupy the ruins of Fort Nickel. That's what I would do. And fortify the high ground outside Way. If Breville attempts to join the battle against us, that could cause us problems. If we get that far, I say we ignore Fort Nickel completely and strike the high ground, giving us the advantage in dividing his forces, and take Way securing the bridge.
Of course, go round the fort. It will be all but over.
Leowyn will be forced to surrender, and the city will be spared.
Well, what's everyone waiting for? Let's go. Dragonborn? Are you alright? You don't look so well. Dragonborn!
Out cold. Looks like that malaise you caught from the Akaviri, Rigmor.
But the crone said the Dragonborn was immune.
But not immune from the kiss of death from a brood mother.
What are we going to do now?
It would take days to send for a physician. Give him some of that tonic of yours, that might help.
We don't have time to wait here. We'll have to take him with us.
Dragonborn, hold on. I'm not going to let you die. I'm right here, okay?
Внезапный поворот. Это что? Что это за место? Что за лабиринт и кто плачет? Или смеется? Так, уже ближе. Ага. Это кто? Перейти мост, которого нет. Если так. Кто ты?
You came this way, dark to light. Follow me.
Это что за статуя? Статуи. Мне нужны ответы. Кто ты?
I am the past, present, and the future.
Что происходит?
You are dying. She sent me. She wants to see you.
Кто хочет видеть меня, дитя?
I'll ask.
Так где я?
You are in between the dark and the light. Akatosh moved you here so you can cross the void.
А как же те, кто остался? Rigmor и другие?
They need you to wake up.
Как долго я сплю?
6 days and nights. The battle has begun. We need to hurry.
Куда сейчас?
You must cross the void. Head towards the light. Do not vary from the path.
А как же ты?
I must go now, but I have something for you. I won't be needing it anymore.
Благодарю.
Go. They are waiting for you.
Снова Совенгард. Он не такой, каким я его запомнил.
There you are. I have been looking everywhere for you. Don't worry, I'm right here. I will always be here. Oh, my dragon child. Follow your heart. Now is not your time.
Спасибо, я полагаю.
Dragonborn, we need you to wake up now! Dragonborn, please, wake up! We need you! Dragonborn! By the gods, you're alive!
Что происходит? Что произошло? Какова ситуация?
We took Fort Ash, then joined up with Ingol at Fort Empire.
А где Квинт?
Quintus is holding Leywin down at Fort Nickel.
Камей?
Cameus is holding Coral from Leywin at Fort Ash. Skingrad pledged to help, but I can't tell you if he did.
Rigmor, что с тобой? Ты в порядке?
I thought I was going to lose you.
Все идет как надо, успокойся. Сосредоточься и скажи, что нам нужно делать.
We need to push on and take the farmhouse. Then we can attack their catapults. Taking the farmhouse will weaken and threaten their middle ground. From there we can attack the heights near the well, dividing Leywin's forces.
Кто-нибудь еще вступил в битву?
Breville is abstaining. Shadenhall is routed.
Тогда давай возьмем эту ферму. Держись поближе. Так я смогу защитить тебя, если понадобится.
Okay.
Как в старые добрые времена.
Нужно что-то?
Okay. Onward to victory.
Так, и что у нас тут? Здесь еще остались. Тут они разберутся, а вот здесь надо помочь. Тренированные они отлично, ничего не скажешь. Все. Все. Ферма наша.
Доброе утро.
Вас так не спасти, да? Беги, беги, беги оттуда. Давайте, давайте, выкарабкивайтесь, ну уже. Молодцы. Ферма наша, что дальше?
We need to push on and take the heights near the well, dividing Leowin's forces.
Держись за мной.
Okay. Okay, let's take those heights. Onward to victory.
Только в огонь не бегите, пожалуйста, а?
Messing with the wrong girl. You're messing with the wrong girl.
У наших почти не осталось. Плохо, конечно, но ладно, сейчас разберемся. Да не ори ты так. Порт наш, господа. У нас есть высоты, и теперь самое время. Надо брать мост.
Okay. On me. To way. To victory.
Вот это дело. А ты чего не вмешиваешься? Ты же легионер, нет? Здравствуй. Тут как бы война идет. Ничего?
Никто не спасет.
Ничего?
Покончить с этим.
Видимо, ничего.
Я могу так целый день.
А я могу так 2 дня.
Дерись по-настоящему. Пощады!
Понятно. Товарищ достиг максимального просветления. Опа. Сколько людей гибнет зря.
Is that all you've got?
Эльфы подоспели. Отлично. Сдавался бы. А там кто? Один лучник. Вот и все. Теперь можно город в осаду брать. Нет?
Нужно что-то?
И легион Квинта подоспел. Ты уже почти дома.
It's all like a dream. I need to figure out what to do next.
Теперь, когда Лиавин побежден, для Сетиуса все кончено.
Dragonborn, what are we gonna do now?
Ты теперь можешь войти в город, он твой.
Cyrodiil deserves better than that.
Тебя также поддерживают Анвил и Скинград.
With Marag gone, maybe Sethius will sue for peace. He wasn't all that bad an emperor.
Ригмор, он узурпатор, король разбойников, ему нельзя доверять.
If only we could just go home, stop the fighting, live a normal life again.
Уже слишком поздно, к сожалению.
It's over. We have won the war. Fort Nickel has fallen. Leowin has surrendered. Skingrad's arrival has forced.
Emberville?
Bravel abstained. He turned his army around and returned to Bravel without a fight.
Да.
Thank you, Princess, for everything. You too, Cameus.
Countess, the Legion stands ready.
It doesn't feel right marching into the city. The citizens have put up with enough bloodshed these past years. Let's make camp. Try to clear some of this mess out while I think about what to do next.
I understand.
Count Cameus, you have proven yourself a trustworthy ally. I shan't forget, and I accept your apology on behalf of the Dominion for my father's death.
Countess?
No, please, don't. Won't you stay until I have decided what to do next?
Of course.
Ingol, there are no words to say how grateful I am for your help in Bruma's family. Please, feel free to take your men and return home. Sorella and Angie should be waiting for your safe return.
It's been an honor to fight alongside you. If you ever need me for anything, you know where to find me. Goodbye, Guardian.
Давай. До встречи.
Okay, ready to make camp. I want everyone rested and ready. Take care of the wounded. Let's start clearing this place up. Looters are to be executed on sight.
A lone rider approaches.
I bring a message for the Lady Rigmor, Countess of Bruma.
Dragonborn.
Тебе от меня что-то нужно?
Графиня Rigmor. Его Величество Император поручил мне пригласить вас во дворец для переговоров, в надежде на то, что мы сможем положить конец тому неудачному положению, в котором мы все оказались. Я думаю, мы все согласимся, что гибель Мораг и поражение Леовина и его сообщников изменили политическую ситуацию в Cyrodiilе. И я смиренно прошу вас не атаковать столицу. Полагаю, что все, чего вы хотите, это возвращение к нормальной, счастливой жизни. И я твердо обещаю вам, что Брума может оставаться вольным городом. Император заверил меня, что если мы сможем договориться об окончании войны, Его Величество обещает следующее. Граф Леовин будет изгнан, Робер де Медалиус будет изгнан, графу Коралу будет объявлен выговор, графу Чейдинхолу будет объявлен выговор, маршал Квинт будет помилован. Графство Леовин императорским указом будет пожаловано хранителю, хотя бы для того, чтобы восстановить свободу и процветание не только для Cyrodiila, но для всей империи в эти смутные и тревожные времена. Потому я смиренно прошу вас прибыть завтра утром в императорский дворец для обсуждения возможных условий соглашения. Поправок к ним, если вы таковых потребуете, и вновь принести подданным империи прочный мир, которого они заслуживают. Мартин Блэквилл, лорд-канцлер Cyrodiila и империи. Недолго музыка играла для императора. Император хочет мирного соглашения. Завтра утром мы идем во дворец на переговоры. Но как же пророчество? Ну, тебе не обязательно принимать решение сейчас. Пойдем к остальным посидим у костра. Вот все и закончилось. Да, битва была тяжелая, ничего не скажешь. Столько смертей. Но что не делается, все к лучшему. Странно, что она эльфов приняла и простила графа Камея. Но, наверное, так и нужно было поступить, если он искренне себя вел.
Salutations, my friends.
Tish. Hey, girl. What's up? Why don't you look where I'm going?
Я видел гильдию в бою. У меня не было возможности поблагодарить вас.
No need, my friend. I feel invigorated again. It's been some time since I had a purpose to do anything at all. Lady Rigmor needs my service, just as her father offered his, to help us fight the Dominion to a standstill during the Resistance. I feel obliged to return the favor.
Did you know my father, Aemon?
Not personally. He arrived later in our struggle after the Empire betrayed us. The war had been raging for some time. If only Mead had kept his nerve after Narafin was defeated at the Battle of the Red Ring, maybe we would not have had to fight another 5 years alone. I don't think the Dominion accounted for the fact we would never surrender.
Ты упомянул марш жажды там в гильдии. Что было потом?
After we crossed the desert, we regrouped in Skaven. At this time, only Hagath held out from Arenalia's forces. She followed us over the desert, and by the time she made camp outside the walls, Decianus had arrived with his legion and volunteers from High Rock, Skyrim, all over.
Должно быть, это была та еще битва.
That was a bloody day. Although we lost the city, it was the beginning of the end for Arenalia. By the time Mead had won in Cyrodiil, we had retaken Skaven and pushed her all the way back across the desert.
А потом?
Then the White Gold Concordat happened, and the Empire abandoned us to the Dominion. They thought they could get away with murder, and began to ethnically cleanse the South, consolidating their gift from Mead. That's when your father arrived, Rigmor. I have never seen such ferocity. Just the sheer size of the Nords, all berserkers. We also had a lot of former legionnaires too, Rebels. Awesomer. And we fought on. Then one day, they were gone. It was over. The war had given me a purpose, and now I had none. I was just a lordless knight with nowhere to call home. The rest is, how should we say, history.
What will you do when this is all over?
I have decided to return home to Rehab. Hammerfell is calling. Who knows what awaits?
So what's your story, Tish?
My story? Man. You ever heard of Hrothgar? Well, it's a small part of High Rock in the mountains there. We lived in a small village under the shadow of Mount Sorrow. Our tribe was the Gorlana. But it got swallowed up along with most other small tribes into the bigger ones during the squabbles. That's my name, Gorlana Tish. The chief was looking for young wives and had his beady eye on me, so I up and left overnight. My mother was sleeping, but my father caught me at the door of our hut, all set, ready to go with my pack. He knew. He never said a word. He just grabbed my face in one hand, lifting me onto my toes. And with his thumb, drew a line from my nose down over my lips. He let me down, then placed his hand on my shoulder with a slight nod. Man, I can tell you that was intense. You see, we don't do that kind of lovey shit most men and mare do. No way. But it meant everything to me. Sometimes I wish I could cry like you milk drinkers. I was quite young then. Had been down the mines for most of my childhood. I'll never forget, every morning when I woke up, the very first thing I would do is just gaze up at that mountain and watch the clouds kind of get wrapped around it. Yeah, Mount Sorrow. I'll have to go back there someday.
What about B? You know, Bersalak. How did you meet him? Was it on the battlefield?
No, nothing like that. It wasn't long after I left the Blades.
You were in the Blades?
Yeah, but I don't talk about it, okay?
Okay.
Hey.
Расскажи, чем все кончилось, Тиш.
I was crossing over the border from here, from Cyrodiil into Skyrim. It was quite high up in the Jarl Mountains, and man, it was so cold. A storm was whipping up the slope, and I knew I had to get to shelter before nightfall. Find a cave, or an overhang, or I would freeze to death. So I kept going. All of a sudden, I saw a clearing, away over the gorge. I knew there had been a recent avalanche, but I had no choice. I followed the fresh snow, and after a while, my way was blocked by a crevasse. It wasn't too wide, but I figured too wide for a jump, so I followed it looking for a narrow gap. I could see one up ahead. Man, it looked like I was getting lucky. But as I got closer, I could make out what looked like, I don't know, some kind of debris. But there was this guy. No kidding you, Rigmor. Upside down, wedged in this hole. This crevasse. With his legs sticking out into the air. I mean, he looked frozen to death. A block of ice. There. Hanging upside down in this crevasse. Thank my lucky stars, a way over. So I took a running jump, landed on his fat ass, and propelled myself out of the hole. Oh my. But by dying, this poor guy had saved my life. I couldn't leave him like that. I mean, normally I wouldn't have hung around, as I wasn't quite out of the danger zone yet. It was getting dark and the wind, it was like howling. So I lassoed this guy's legs and pulled his body out of the hole. It was the least I could do, right? I mean, he was gone, frozen stiff. Even parts of his beard snapped off in my fingers. And even under all that ice, you could tell the blood had rushed to his head. Which looked like a giant fucking frozen plum. I didn't have time to stay around, or I'd be joining him. So anyway, sometime later, as I was coming down the mountain, I ran into about 8 or 9 bandit marauders looking for a quick septum. But they weren't going to take me without a fight. That's what we Orsimer do. We fight. So I took a couple out, but these guys were getting the better of me, tough bastards. I was going down and I was shouting, "Come on, you motherfuckers, give it your best shot." I took a blade in the guts. Uh-oh, I thought, I'm done here. Then I hear this roar, it was like over my shoulder, and I was like, hey, this has gotta be a bear or something, right? I was blacking out. My sword slipped from my fingers and I was going down. And for the first time, in a long time, I felt warm. It was weird. I was face down in the dirty snow. I mean, I could taste it. While all this shit was going on like a blur all around me. I just wanted to sleep. I said my last words with an oath to Malakath. Take me, Malakath. Let it be known I fought and died with honor, and look favorably on my clan as worthy of your gratitude. I woke up. Only the gods know how long I'd been under, but there, on a rock, sat this big fucking guy. No shit, Rigmor. The same guy I had pulled out of that hole with the frozen plum head.
No way.
Saved my life, like I saved his, I guess. I haven't been able to shake his fat ass since. He's like fucked up in there somewhere. Maybe it was all that time hanging upside down with his ass sticking in the air. I don't know.
Oh my days.
I mean, I should have died back there. And I was in a really bad way. You know, he took care of me. Stitched my wounds, washed and dressed me, fed me, and even took me for a shit when I needed one. And has never, to this day, uttered one single word.
That is quite something, Tish.
So yeah, I've been looking out for him ever since.
Do you have any regrets?
Hey, I better be getting back. B's not too good if I'm not there when he wakes up. And we don't want that, right?
Thanks, Tish.
No sweat, Rigmor. See you around.
Нам бы лучше тоже отдохнуть.
Yeah. I could sleep for 100 years.
Dragonborn, wake up. It's time to go.
Уже. Ты готова?
As I'll ever be. Hey, Eamon. Where's Tish?
Tish has decided to go home, back to High Rock. You might be able to catch her if you hurry.
Пожары уже потушили.
Tish, wait!
Hey girl, what's up?
Where are you going?
Bruma has been good to us. We don't want to outstay our welcome.
Tish, please. Won't you stay?
Ah, Rigmor, don't do this to me.
Tish, please. Go. You'll always be welcome here. Where will you go?
Look. Me and B gonna head up to High Rock, see what's happening up there. I got some unfinished business, and talking to you kinda cleared my head a bit.
I understand. No regrets.
One of my biggest regrets in my life was killing all those dragons.
Сторожите.
Watch out for a trap. Sethius will be surrounded by his Praetorian guard.
I'll be fine, Quintus. Anyway, I have the Dragonborn. What could possibly go wrong?
If anything untoward happens, I will march my legion into the city in the name of Titus Mede II and give control back to the Council of Elders.
I am sure Blackwell is as good as his word. Thank you, Quintus, for everything.
Don't make it sound like it's the end. This is just the beginning. Good luck, my lady.
Come on, Dragonborn. Let's get this over with.
Да, давай.
Yeah.
Так, это однозначно не нужно. Хотел бы я так же быстро ходить. Так, и что еще можно выкинуть? А ничего нельзя. На улице ни души. кроме стражи.
Нужно что-то.
А это претарианцы.
Dragonborn. Wait, what shall I say to them?
Я буду представлять тебя. Оставь мне разговоры.
Well, I certainly won't be marrying that asshole Robert, so check that off the list. The best he can hope for is his freedom. Same with the father. We hold the upper hand in the negotiations, right?
Абсолютно.
And marrying the Emperor? I don't think so. All this political bullshit, how do they even live with themselves? They will do anything, stoop to the lowest of the low, at every opportunity for power. That's what really pisses me off. The power doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the citizens, the people of Tamriel. If only I could be a true voice for the people. Do you think that I have what it takes, Dragonborn, to become Empress?
Только ты можешь решить, что бы ты ни выбрала, я здесь ради тебя.
But what about you? What will you do, no matter what happens next?
Куда ты, туда и я, и не важно, что будет.
I love you, Dragonborn. I belong to you and you alone. And I'll never stop loving you. Do you believe in the prophecy thing?
Надеюсь, это правда, и ребенок есть. Наша дочь, она ни в чем не будет нуждаться.
What will become of us? Dragonborn. I will always love you.
Okay.
Ну что ж, идем навстречу судьбе.
What are you doing? Why are you standing there? Kill them! Blackwell, order your men to kill these traitors!
Hold your swords.
I am your Emperor! I demand you kill them. You must obey me. You will cut them down this instant. You pick up your sword and cut them down. Cut them down, I say. Then I am undone.
Полагаю, именно так.
It wasn't me. I am innocent. It was her. Morag. She murdered the children, not me.
Так ты знал об этом?
You can keep the crown. Here, take it. Take it. Please. Quarter. Mercy.
The Emperor is dead. Long live the Emperor.
С тобой все хорошо? Кинжальчик неплохой. Какого Дреймора, Блэквилл?
Majesty, whomsoever takes off the head that wears the crown reigns supreme. You are Lord Protector of Cyrodiil and the Empire. Take your rightful place upon the throne of Dragonborn kings.
Полагаю, он это и планировал с самого начала.
My lady, after you.
Ах, какой интриган. Я тоже немного прифигел. Не на такой исход я рассчитывал.
Pursue your interests with absolute unwavering ruthlessness. If you would kindly permit me to, and I am sure you'll agree, tie up a few loose ends. We have to nip it in the bud, so to speak. All of them. My lady, you look quite peakish. Are you unwell?
I am with you, child.
Я тоже в шоке. Ты уверена? Это лучшее, что случалось в моей жизни.
What? The baby? Or you becoming emperor?
Ребенок, конечно же.
What are you going to do?
Не Не знаю, здесь что-то не так, что-то не складывается.
Well, I don't want to have the baby here. I want to go home.
Ригмор, это ты должна была стать императрицей.
You're the last Dragonborn, the rightful heir to the throne. Blackwell said it himself. I need you now more than ever. Please, don't leave me here alone.
Я никогда не оставлю тебя одну. Ни сейчас, ни вообще.
Please take me home, Dragonborn. Let's have Blackwell look after things here. If he needs us, he can send for us. Here he is. Ask him. Ask him about what happens next.
Да, надо бы это куда-то убрать. Тело. Да похоронить по-человечески. Пусть он и был ублюдком полным, но... Хорошо, Блэквилл, что будет дальше?
Well, there will be a small interim phase so correspondence can be sent to those that need to be informed, such as dignitaries and the royal houses of Tamriel. They shall be invited to the coronation, which in this case I suggest be arranged at the same time, as Rigmor is now the High Queen of Cyrodiil. But first, we need to protect the integrity of our queen and the child. So, first I suggest Rigmor takes up the name of the House of Mead.
Rigmor Mead? Yeah, right.
It might only be a temporary change, but also a necessary one. Majesty, depending on how we go forward from here, I have another suggestion.
Какое?
I suggest you arrange a marriage at the soonest opportunity. You, as the last Dragonborn, are the rightful heir to the throne. As soon as I heard of your accomplishments, I knew it was fact. That not only were you gifted the Thuum, but also with the ability to absorb the souls of dragons. That you were anointed by Akatosh himself as the rightful heir, before even taking the crown. If you find that arrangement to be impossible for whatever reason, there are alternative ways to proceed.
Другие способы?
A partnership or friendship ceremony for the child's sake. It would not be binding, and you could both live separate lives, where there is an understanding between you and shared responsibilities, especially if you decide to cede. Or you could cede the crown. Rigmor becomes Empress, and you go back to what you were doing before.
Я попрошу руки Ригмор, когда подготовлюсь к этому.
Understood. My lady?
The Dragonborn and I shall return to Bruma for the time being and leave you in charge as caretaker. Maybe Titus Mead II will return someday. We will, of course, comply with anything you ask of us.
Of course, my lady. As the former Countess of Bruma, administration will pass to Sigun. Bruma will, by default, become a royal city and imperial place of residence. There is a small matter that needs to be attended to, but that can wait for the time being. I'm sure both of you need time to adjust to the new situation you find yourselves in. The traders Leowin, Cheydinhal, and Coral have all been dealt with, permanently, and the houses of Coral and Cheydinhal, for the time being, have passed on to their next of kin.
Leowin?
Leowin is in need of a new count. I suggest Cassius Varon. It is imperative we have someone we can trust, implicitly. His naval expertise would suit the county and protect the Niben Bay, especially as the disbanded bandit army has gone to ground in the border regions of Black Marsh, elsewhere in Valenwood. Of course, Quintus was another option to consider, but with growing tensions in Hammerfell, it would be prudent to have him remain there for the time being.
Соглашусь. Леовин — ключ к защите цитадели, особенно если аковерцы начнут атаку.
I shall get onto it at once. I shall arrange the necessary correspondence announcing the change of dynasty and forthcoming coronation to be sent to whom it may concern, so expect immediate interest and requests for parley, especially from the Elder Council in exile and the Aldmeri Dominion, who I suspect will want to discuss the restoration of the White Gold Concordant.
Yeah, right.
Lady Rigmor, take this opportunity to relax as best you can. Of course, return home to Bruma. But soon, whether you like it or not, you will need to adapt and come to terms with your new situation. Once the news has reached to the far corners of Nern, and you address the foreign dignitaries and your subjects, you must respect their expectations and act accordingly, befitting a queen.
Hey, I'm not the Emperor, and I put up with this kind of stuff from Malsam long enough, so drop it, Blackwell.
But you are still the queen. Rightfully so, as the Dragonborn is the rightful heir to the Imperial throne by right of combat. I realize this situation is not perfect, or even expected. I am sure it comes as a surprise to all of us, but here we are. It's not the first time in the history of monarchies that things have turned out exceptional. But we must all agree that the recent events that have brought us here are indeed exceptional.
I'm sorry. I'm just worried, I guess. I don't know.
Rigmor, I have been on the receiving end of your diplomatic parley. You have proven, beyond doubt, your ability to lead, to strategize, to stand up, shoulders back, head held high in the face of overwhelming odds. And with the Dragonborn by your side? If it's peace you want, if it's a home to go where you can raise a child in safety, you have a place alongside the Dragonborn to make this real, to make it a success, because no one is going to make that success for you. So please, do take the time to return to Bruma, appoint a lady-in-waiting, and send her here to the palace as to arrange the royal suite. I take it you have dealt with Sir Robert?
Еще нет.
Then I leave his fate up to you. If you will permit me, I have matters to attend to. I shall send word if something important comes up and your presence is required. My lord. My lady.
Dragonborn.
Что такое?
How do you feel about all this?
Я действительно чувствую себя немного неуверенно. Не могу понять.
You? Unsure?
Я жертва обстоятельств, как и ты.
I understand. I really do.
Хочется... Я знаю, мы прошли через многое вместе, не так ли?
We share a destiny. I know that. We have both suffered from amnesia. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there for me. Been there for all of us. I know I'm not perfect, but you've always been there to carry me when I fall, to put me back together when I'm broken. I would do the same for you in a heartbeat. I'll always have your back, and I want you to know you are kind and stronger than you know. You're my Dragonborn, and I'll protect you always.
Я люблю тебя.
I love you too.
Так, что делать дальше будем?
Can you take me home now?
Теперь это твой дом.
You know what I mean.
Тогда давай, следуй за мной. Неожиданно. К чему это все приведет? Я думаю, до Брумы пешком, наверное, можно дойти будет.
Нужно что-то?
Да?
Касси уже свернул лагерь? А, еще нет. Так. Наверное, в эту сторону. Да. Приветствую, легионер. Путь не близкий. А это что за ферма? Так. Ага. Наверное, уже безопасно. Передвигаться без шлема можно. Алисвел. Так, где поворот на север? Еще одни врата. Но нам не сюда. Придется немного попетлять. Интересный у тебя клинок. Ну вот, осталось немного. Первый снег. Осадные укрепления, точнее их остатки. А здесь когда-то была великая битва. Здесь открылись большие врата Обливиона. И чемпион Cyrodiil вместе с Мартином Септимом их закрыли и уничтожили осадное орудие. Вот мы и пришли. Вот мы и пришли.
Нужно что-то.
Что такое?
I mean, we can't just go back there and say, "Hey, Mom, guess what? I'm pregnant with the Dragonborn's baby." I'm just worried, I guess.
Еще рано. Никто не должен знать, даже твоя мама, но это тебе решать.
We don't have much time before I start showing. What then?
Мы поженимся так скоро, как только возможно. Позволь мне сначала поговорить с твоей мамой. Я хочу, чтобы все было идеально.
Okay, let's go then.
Rigmor.
Mom!
Ingle informed us of Leowin's defeat. There seems to be some confusion regarding the outcome of the, yes, the war.
We went to parley at the Emperor's request. The Emperor, attacked Dragonborn.
By the gods, what happened?
I think it's plainly obvious. I take it things didn't end well for him.
Dragonborn is now the Emperor of Cyrodiil and the Empire.
My word.
Your most imperial royal majesty.
Да не стоит так.
There will be a coronation after the interim phase, so Blackwell can make the necessary arrangements for the coronation. Come on, let's all sit down.
Forgive me, your majesty, as this has come as a bit of a shock.
You got that right.
Indeed. But what about you, my lady?
I am the new High Queen of Cyrodiil. Seems there was something in that prophecy after all, Friathoff. Bruma is to become a royal city, so nothing would need change here, apart from my name.
Change your name, child? What do you mean?
Blackwell wants me to change my name to Rigmor before the coronation.
might I make one small suggestion? As you know, Carice and myself have always worked tirelessly to protect and serve the descendants of Morgan of Winterhold.
Your point?
Morgan, as you know, was the first child of Titus Mead the First. You could respect her memory of that by assuming the name of Rigmor Morgan Mead. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Don't you think?
Thanks, Malsam. You know, I really like that.
But what I don't understand is, how is all of this going to work out? If Rigmor is the High Queen of Cyrodiil, then your Majesty must not only be the Emperor, but also the High King.
What of the prophecy, my child? Are you...
Mom, we need to talk.
Rigmor? What is it? Is there something wrong?
In private.
What happened, Your Majesty? And what about Morag?
Ну, да там все вообще красиво получилось. Мы победили Мораг Сетиус на Столовой горе, не без помощи Талмора.
And my mistress?
Уничтожение камня душ вызвало раскол, и Молокбал вошел в Многосель.
My word.
Я призвал Баэтию с помощью глаза, мы вместе сражались и помешали Мологу и его приспешникам.
Dragonborn and Boethia versus Molag Bal and his minions. Who would ever conceive of such an epic event? What then, Majesty? I take it you went straight after Leowen?
Это было не так просто, но в основном да.
But you mentioned the Falmor.
Судя по всему, их прислал Совет Старейшин и другие высокопоставленные лица, во главе с графом Камеем.
I know of him. Of course, I haven't been back to the Isles for many years, but the family is well known. Lalandril, I think. Yes, that's where his family hail from. Very well respected.
What about the red diamond? Did you pick it up?
Какой красный алмаз?
Jonte was telling us about... Oh.
Ah, yes. Apparently the destruction of the Bridge of Sighs would ultimately cause it to collapse in upon itself. Didn't Sefri tell you that would occur if the Soul Gem reached its zenith?
Он сказал только, что это может вызвать раскол, но никогда не упоминал об алмазе.
If the Soul Gem were allowed to reach its zenith, destroying itself, it would indeed have caused a rift. But also, it would have left behind a black diamond. If it had, an amulet of kings made of it would have been able to reverse the sacrifice of Martin Septim, not only allowing Daedra to pass into the mortal world along with Cold Harbor, but also to banish the gods. Thankfully you destroyed it in time, but instead of leaving a black diamond, it would have left a red diamond in its place.
Так вот, на что намекала Мораг. И что бы случилось сейчас, если...
An amulet of kings made with a red diamond? We're not entirely sure.
Only the Chosen One could wear it. Whether the diamond was black or red makes no difference. But we can assume it could be used to relight the dragon fires, and it could result in many outcomes.
Например?
Banish both the divines and Daedra for meddling in the affairs of mortals completely. Possibly it could equalize the influence of them, but at a reduced amount, strengthening the sacrifice of Martin Septim. It would, of course, be useless without the fulfillment of the prophecy. And we talked about that before, Majesty.
Rigmor беременна.
By the gods! Majesty!
Well, that's all rather inconvenient. What happens next?
Неудобно. Мы планировали пожениться и создать семью. Вот чего мы оба хотели. Я собираюсь попросить у Сигун благословения на брак с Rigmor.
Of course, that would put everything in order and make things right.
No one need know Lady Rigmor is pregnant before the wedding. We keep this to ourselves. Majesty, does Lady Rigmor know what fate awaits her?
Да, Фритов, она знает, но я не хочу сейчас об этом говорить. Опять что-то пошло не так.
I am the new High Queen of Cyrodiil. Seems there was something in that prophecy after all, Priятного. Bruma is to become a royal city, so nothing would need change here, apart from my name.
Change your name, child? What do you mean?
Blackwell wants me to change my name to Rigmor before the coronation.
Might I make one small suggestion? As you know, Carice and myself have always worked tirelessly to protect and serve the descendants of Morgan of Winterhold.
Your point?
Morgan, as you know, was the first child of Titus Mead I. You could respect her memory of that by assuming the name of Rigmor Morgan Mead. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Don't you think?
Thanks, Sam. You know, I really like that.
But what I don't understand is, how is all of this going to work out? If Rigmor is the High Queen of Cyrodiil, then your Majesty must not only be the Emperor, but also the High King.
What of the prophecy, my child? Are you...
Mom, we need to talk.
Rigmor? What is it? Is there something wrong?
In private.
What happened, Your Majesty? And what about Morag? And my word.
The Dragonborn and Boethia versus Molag Bal and his minions. Who would ever conceive of such an epic event? What then, Majesty? I take it you went straight after Leowen?
Это все уже было.
You mentioned the Falmor. I know of him. Of course,
Поэтому
I
я
haven't
читать
been
не
back to the
буду.
house for many years, but the family is well known. Lelandril, I think. Yes, that's where his family hail from. Very well respected.
What about the red diamond? Did you pick it up? Jonte was telling us about... Oh.
Ah, yes. Apparently the destruction of the Bridge of Sighs would ultimately cause it to collapse in upon itself. Didn't Sefri tell you that would occur if the soul gem reached its zenith? Ah, if the soul gem... If, thankfully, you destroyed it in time, but if an amulet of kings made with a red diamond? We're not entirely sure.
Only the Chosen One could wear it. Whether the diamond was black or red makes no difference. But we can assume it could be used to relight the dragon fires, and it could result in many outcomes. Banish both. Possible. It would, of course, be useless. By the gods! Majesty!
Well, that's all rather inconvenient. What happens next?
Это сразу убежала. Или нет? Наверное, в ней все дело было.
Of course, that would put everything in order and make things right.
No one need know Lady Rigmor is pregnant before the wedding. We keep this to ourselves. Majesty, does Lady Rigmor know what fate awaits her?
И на этом почему-то зависает.
No one need know Lady Rigmor is pregnant before the wedding. We keep this to ourselves. Majesty, does Lady Rigmor know what fate awaits her?
Так, и что делать? Вопрос. Еще раз. Ничего не хочешь сказать? А если по-другому? Поближе к нему подойти? Никак. Может, это поможет. Нет. Черт возьми, что ж делать дальше? Ответить Фритофу. Ладно, друзья, на этом на сегодня закончим. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Не болейте и до новых встреч.